Chapter 542 Asura 3-Eyed Godsealing Curse. I am really sorry. I didn't want it to end like this. We really did not come with any bad intentions. Yuan tried his best to explain to the mermaid with the crown. Even though he did not know exactly what her status amongst the merfolk was, he believed that she was probably a mermaid with a decent status, considering how she had already cultivated for 100,000 years. The mermaid showed no sign of forgiveness as she glared back at him with hateful eyes. Yuan sighed after seeing how his friendly gesture was not reciprocated by the mermaid. He knew it was probably impossible to reverse her attitude towards humans. Even though he didn't know why the mermaid hated humans so much, he couldn't care less, as all he wanted to do now was bring Tang Clan to safety. He was not so naive to believe that he could solve the sour mermaid-human relationship by himself. Suddenly, Yuan sensed that something was wrong. His senses were particularly acute because his eye of destiny had been open all this time. The speed at which the ice ball was ascending suddenly decreased, as the small amount of light that was starting to show in the ocean disappeared. Shit. Immediately, Yuan hugged the mermaid tighter as his heart sank. He knew it was impossible for him to kill his hostage. If he were to kill her, the rest of the soul beasts would never let him leave. Right now, he could sense the transformations within the water. However, he was unable to pinpoint where exactly they were coming from. If he was unable to detect the source of the transformations, it suggested how powerful his opponent was. The mermaid was blushing, yet angry at the same time. It was her first time being so close to a person of the opposite gender. She had never gotten so close to a male aquatic soul beast, much less a human male. This human's aura is exceptionally strong. His spiritual power is especially powerful. He is probably the human with the strongest spiritual power I've ever met. In her eyes, Yuan also had a very different scent. He did not have the same ocean smell that her peers possessed, and this was something that was quite refreshing to her. Yuan placed one of his hands around her waist as he wrapped the other hand around her neck. However, Yuan did not know that the most sensitive region on a mermaid's body was their neck. If he were to release his hands right now, he would realize how the mermaid's neck was flashing. Human, there is no way you can escape. A mysterious energy suddenly appeared as Yuan watched the mermaid in his arms dissolve into bubbles and disappear. Following which, it seemed as though this entire region's space was sealed as all water current stopped. An invincible pressure started to act on him from all directions. Yuan had been barely sustaining himself on his internal breathing, and his face grew pale after feeling the increase in pressure. He suddenly felt the possibility of his impending death. He knew he could not hold on much longer. A bright blue light could suddenly be seen in the middle of the seawater. It was a pillar of light which came from the bottom of the sea. It shot towards Yuan and stopped at a region approximately 300 meters away from him and Tang Clan. Following which, two figures appeared. One of them happened to be the same mermaid with the crown. The other mermaid happened to be one which they had not seen before. This new mermaid looked very peculiar. Its size and figure was pretty similar to that of the one which wore the crown. However, her crown was golden. In fact, even the scales on her fishtail were golden. The immense pressure that was acting on Yuan came from this mermaid, which looked like a beautiful middle-aged woman. If their battleground was not in the ocean and Yuan was able to team up with Tang Clan, he might have stood a chance against them. However, he was deep in the sea in his opponent's home ground. There was almost no chance that he would be able to escape today, and that was because he had already recognized the mermaid's identity. There was only one possible person in the entire sea who could possess such incredible power. Greetings, your highness. Even though Yuan might not be able to move, he could still send his greetings through his spiritual intent. Human, why did you come to our homeland? Do you still want to pollute our sea? You have already harmed so many of our people. Is it still not enough for you? The princess of the sea's voice might be threatening, but she did not immediately attack Yuan. Yuan gave her an awkward smile. I am sorry, your highness. I am really not aware of what my fellow humans have done to the merfolk. I can only vouch for myself and my partner that we come in peace. The reason why we are here is that we hope to discuss something with you. If you are willing to give me a chance to speak, I will gladly allow myself to be captured and share with you what we hope to discuss. Since you are the one who rules this sea, you should naturally know everything that happens in this area. In that case, you should know how both of us did not harm any aquatic soul beasts throughout our entire journey in the ice sea. We really don't have any bad intentions. I believe that there will always be good and bad people in both the human race and among the merfolk. Even though I don't think I am a perfect person, I can guarantee that I come in peace. The princess of the sea frowned as she looked at Yuan. Do you really think both of you would still be alive if you had harmed my people? Tell me what you are here for. I will give you a chance to persuade me. Yuan let out a sigh of relief. As long as he had a chance to speak, he had a chance to live. However, the mermaid which was wearing a silver crown interjected. No, mother, you must not give these despicable humans another chance. Have you forgotten? When they first interacted with us, they seduced us to trust them with their words. And what did they do in the end? If not for them, my sister would not have. As she spoke, she, who was obviously a mermaid princess, started to tear up. Yuan was surprised to see how her tears streamed out in a glistening fashion before transforming into white round pearls that floated in the seawater. Don't cry, my child. Tearing up will only drain your life energy. Don't worry. I promise you I will make sure they pay for what they have done. It was apparent that the princess of the sea was very doting towards her daughter. Shit. After hearing what she said, Yuan started to panic. He quickly mustered the soul power in his body as he tried to break free from her control. However, the princess of the sea definitely called the shots in the ocean. Besides, she possessed the ability of an ultimate Douluo. The princess of the sea waved her left hand, and the seawater around Yuan started to contort vigorously and apply immense pressure on him. It was almost as though the entire sea was her weapon. As Yuan tried to forcefully release his soul power and execute a soul skill, he felt a powerful spiritual energy suppress his spiritual sea and body. This was not just a spiritual type soul skill, but a suppressive attack based purely on spiritual power. It had been a while since Yuan had last faced an opponent who had spiritual power that was more powerful than his. The princess of the sea's spiritual power was beyond Yuan's imagination. Perhaps only the evil eye tyrant would be able to beat her in spiritual power. It was not long before the suffocating sensation returned again. Yuan knew that he could not hold it any longer. It was simply too disadvantageous for him to fight in the sea. Am I really going to die here? No. No way. I must bring Wutong out, even if it comes at the expense of my life. I must save her. In this situation which concerned Wutong's life and death, Yuan's eyes suddenly lit up. The sunray patterns around the eye of destiny on his forehead started to shine as its rose gold glow turned the surrounding sea water golden. A layer of rose gold light sparkled behind Yuan's back as a gigantic eye slowly opened. Yuan knew that there was still a slim chance that he might survive the princess of the sea's attack. This was because he still had the beast god seal on him. When he was about to die, Tian would definitely think of a way to save him. However, Tang Clan did not have the same kind of protection. The thick ice that was surrounding her was starting to break under the immense pressure applied by the princess of the sea. The pressure would act instantly on her body the moment the ice ball caved in. By then, even if he managed to stay alive, Tang Clan would die in the sea. Back when she was still younger, she had already left him once. Yuan had vowed to keep her out of harm's way and never put her in any form of danger again. As the determination in heart grew stronger, Yuan's spiritual sea exploded like a geyser. A powerful golden glow expanded into the surroundings from Yuan's head. The eye that was behind Yuan's back also started to become less illusory. Initially, it seemed to be purely rose gold, but as it became increasingly material, it started to become bronze, then silver, before finally turning golden. If Dubusi was still alive, he would have recognized this as a symptom of the second awakening of a body soul. In fact, a golden awakening meant that it was the highest tier and most powerful transformation. Huh. The princess of the sea was surprised to see how Yuan was able to put up a fight against her spiritual power. How is this human who is at most 20 years old able to possess such powerful spiritual power? I can't believe my eyes. The princess of the sea's eyes lit up. Of course, she would not be giving Yuan any chance of escaping. Her eyes turned a crystal clear blue as blue ripples were released from them. These waves rolled towards Yuan in an overwhelming fashion. Yuan was a lot weaker than the princess of the sea when it came to soul power and cultivation. This was further exacerbated by the fact that they were competing in the sea. The only possible way he could compete with her was through his spiritual power. Hence, he could only watch the blue ripples envelope his entire body. Immediately, Yuan's forehead emanated a rose gold light. He should be feeling fortunate that the princess of the sea had once again chosen to launch a spiritual attack at him. After all, the merfolk were best known for their spiritual abilities. Once again, Yuan's three-eyed golden lion skull of destiny provided provided him immunity from the second spiritual attack of the day. It was able to block the Princess of the Sea's attack, and bought Huo Yue precious time to act. Light started to sparkle in his eye of destiny as all three of Huo Yue's eyes turned golden. While the Princess of the Sea's attack enveloped his body, he would escape unscathed and surprise the princess with his attack. 3 streaks of pure golden light were projected from his body into the seawater. In the blink of an eye, the light had already sped past all 300 meters of seawater and landed on the Princess of the Sea's body. Spiritual shock. It was a spiritual shock released when he was in his 3-eye state. When the 3 golden streaks landed on her body, the gigantic eye behind Huo Yue's back flickered with a golden light before disappearing. In the next instant, it had silently reappeared behind the princess. The Princess of the Sea instantly tossed her daughter out of the way as her body immediately turned a rose gold color, the same color as the gigantic eye. Asura 3-eyed Godsealing spell. This was an extremely powerful ability that Huo Yue had developed in the moment of inspiration when his body soul awakened for the second time. This was not a soul skill but a combination of his soul skills, spiritual power, soul power, and the power of destiny from the eye of destiny that the 3-eyed golden lion had given him. It was an entirely self-created soul skill which combined all of the above. Even though the Princess of the Sea was incredibly powerful, she was unable to break free from the seal of the Asura 3-eyed Godsealing spell. She could only rely on her spiritual power to defend herself from the impact of this powerful soul skill, and was unable to release any sort of power into her surroundings. Huo Yue was instantly freed from his shackles. Without hesitating, he turned around and slammed into the ice ball behind him with his left palm. The ice ball exploded as a path suddenly appeared, and a purple golden light, Tang Wutong, emerged from the ice ball. Huo Yue grabbed Tang Wutong's hand as both of them made a dash for the surface. Even though they were in the sea, Huo Yue activated the Class 9 flying soul tool behind his back as it accelerated their ascent to an incredibly fast speed, similar to the blade-shaped fish. At this instant, a piercing scream echoed into Huo Yue's brain. Huo Yue's stare immediately turned cold as he looked behind him. The mermaid with the silver crown was chasing after them. Huo Yue's eyes immediately revealed his burning desire to kill her. For the greater part of their journey, they had not threatened the lives of any aquatic soul beasts. In fact, they were the ones who had been threatened constantly. In the end, even the Princess of the Sea had decided to take action against them. Even though the Princess of the Sea was temporarily sealed, her daughter still persistently chased after them as she tried to stop them from escaping. This made Huo Yue terribly angry. Do you really think I don't dare to kill you? Huo Yue's body immediately radiated a powerful murderous intent. At this instant, the hand-on power between him and Tang Wutong had already been established. Huo Yue raised his right hand and released a dark golden terraclaw towards the mermaid. Instantly, a gigantic claw appeared at a distance of 100 meters from him. The claw was able to shatter all the surrounding seawater with its sharpness. Even though the mermaid was still a fair distance away, she could sense the sharpness and power of the claw. Her face immediately turned pale. While the merfolk were known for their spiritual gifts, they did not possess particularly outstanding defensive abilities. Even though she was a mermaid with close to 100,000 years of cultivation, her close combat ability was relatively weak. Hence, she was captured by Huo Yue fairly easily. Thus, as the claw came towards her in a suppressive manner, the mermaid had no choice but to slow down as she controlled the surrounding seawater to improve her defense. Huo Yue made good use of this opportunity to continue accelerating with Tang Wutong. However, the claw did not collide with the mermaid head-on. It merely swept horizontally before hitting her as it blocked her path. The mermaid was surprised that her defense was not challenged by the claw. Just when she was about to continue to chase after them, she realized that the dark golden terraclaw was able to turn itself around in the seawater and follow her. It was able to follow her in a peculiar fashion wherever she tried to move as it attempted to block her from pursuing Huo Yue and Tang Wutong. This was the first time that the mermaid had encountered a soul skill which was alive even after being released. What's going on? Of course, she did not know that this was a result of Huo Yue having attained a high level of spiritual power. His spiritual power had already been given material form. When he launched the dark golden terraclaw, he had injected a sliver of spiritual power into it. The mermaid merely had to increase her speed and go around the claw to escape from it. Huo Yue's claw would not have been able to keep up with her. After all, there was only so much control the sliver of spiritual power could grant. Nonetheless, the claw which had seemed to be alive had mentally overwhelmed the mermaid to the extent that she did not attempt to try and beat it. Meanwhile, Huo Yue and Tang Wutong continued their ascent as they neared the surface of the water. Whoosh, whoosh. 2 loud splashing sounds could be heard as both of them emerged from the sea and flew straight up into the sky. Tang Wutong hugged Huo Yue the moment they managed to get back into the sky. Right now, Huo Yue was incredibly pale. After leaving the high-pressure environment within the deep sea, his mouth and nose were bleeding. His entire aura had become a lot weaker. Yue, are you okay? Tang Wutong asked frantically. Huo Yue waved his hand as he attempted to reassure her that he was fine. I'm fine. It's just that I expended too much spiritual power in a short amount of time. Don't worry about me. We better leave quickly. I don't think my seal can hold the Princess of the Sea much longer. How could Huo Yue create the Asura 3-eyed Godsealing spell and escape a life-threatening situation without paying the price for it? In fact, it had taken a lot out of him for him to achieve both of those things. He was almost out of spiritual power now. The only reason why he was able to continue his ascent was that he simply had incredibly strong and powerful spiritual power. Tang Wutong held Huo Yue in her embrace as she increased the speed of their flight. Huo Yue breathed heavily as he tried to suppress the dizziness in his head that was trying to overwhelm him. Afterwards, he mustered his soul power and changed his martial soul. His spirit eyes were instantly replaced with an aura of ultimate ice. At the same time, he summoned the Snow Empress. The Snow Empress was able to sense what had happened outside, especially after the huge commotion in his spiritual sea. A few of his spirits had already been awakened by what had happened. Huo Yue might have released them just now if he was able to free up some time during the battle to do just that. However, the pressure exerted on him was simply too much for him to do anything else. After the Snow Empress left his body, her expression also showed her disbelief at what had just happened. She had not expected the usually gentle and welcoming Princess of the Sea to be so inhuman and ruthless in the way she responded to Huo Yue and Tang Wutong. After summoning the Snow Empress, Huo Yue closed his eyes as he allowed himself to fall unconscious. The Snow Empress turned to Tang Wutong before nodding. Wutong, he has only fainted because of the huge amount of spiritual energy he has used. From now on, I will control his body and cooperate with you. Yue's seal can only hold the princess for a short while. There will most likely be a battle after it fails. It would be best if I can persuade the princess to let us go. If not, we can only do our best to keep ourselves alive. Tang Wutong nodded as she revealed an equally cold stare. I will do my best to work with you, Snow Empress. After finishing her sentence, the Snow Empress fused back into Huo Yue's body and assumed control of it. It was a logical decision by Huo Yue to select the Snow Empress to assume control of his body, because she was the spirit with the strongest spiritual power. The Snow Empress immediately drew upon his soul power to lift his right hand. The ring on his right hand lit up as crystal clear armor appeared in midair. This set of armor was deep blue. However, its color was very different from the sea's dark blue color. It was not only full of life, but also seemed to possess a primordial aura. When it appeared, it seemed to cause the surrounding temperature to plunge. The Snow Empress lifted her left hand and tapped gently on the armor. Instantly, the armor disassembled itself into over 10 different streaks of light that fused into Huo Yue's body. This was a full suit of armor that was composed of several plates that resembled slabs of dark blue crystal. Every single plate was carved exquisitely as they fit perfectly with Huo Yue's body. After donning the armor, Huo Yue's body seemed to have become considerably larger. Every single plate reflected the light from its surroundings. From afar, Huo Yue looked like a human-shaped sapphire gem as he radiated a warm blue glow. The Snow Empress controlled Huo Yue's body as she helped him put on the helmet. At this instant, Huo Yue's body seemed to be radiating an intensely cold aura. Even Tang Wutong could not help but use her soul power to insulate her body from the cold. The Snow Empress let go of Tang Wutong's hand. After all, she was not able to use Huo Yue's body to perform any martial soul fusion skills and use a hand-on power with Tang Wutong. Ultimately, she was not Huo Yue. However, after putting on this armor, the aura that Huo Yue was releasing had already surpassed Tang Wutong. This meant that his aura was already more powerful than that of a titled Douluo. As Huo Yue opened his eyes, one could notice how his eyes were entirely blue. Those were the Snow Empress's eyes. The aura he was releasing continued to intensify as it steadily became stronger. Yes, this was the armor that Huo Yue and Sun Zwen had painstakingly researched and developed over the past 2 years. Sun Zwen had claimed that this was an irreplicable superhuman-shaped soul tool, the Icy War God's armor. The entire armor was built from the divine ice crystals that Huo Yue had brought back the other time. There were 2 sets of armor. One of them was the normal version, and the other one was the one Huo Yue was wearing right now. The normal version had been given to Nan Qiu because Huo Yuao would not have been able to get so many divine ice crystals without her mother's help. The armor Huo Yuao was wearing was made of divine ice crystals which contained ice spirits. In other words, this set of armor possessed life energy. The formation arrays within the interior of the armor were all carved from divine ice crystals. They were all completed by Huo Yuao, who had used his ghost carving blade and side of the frozen goddess, Morning Dew Dagger. Without these two items, he would not have been able to even cut the crystals. Huo Yuao could not bear to wear this set of armor all the time because his cultivation was still lacking a bit. He did not have the ability to fully control the immense power of the armor. Sun Zwen had said that this was one of the most perfect products he had ever seen in his life. All of the diagrams and papers were completed by Sun Zwen and Huo Yuao together. However, Huo Yuao did all the work. Sun Zwen supervised him. Sun Zwen had said that this armor could not be used by anyone else. Without an ultimate ice martial soul, there was no hope for a cultivator to control this armor after wearing it. At the same time, Sun Zwen had factored in Huo Yuao's personal characteristics when designing the Icy War God's armor. He had also managed to design the spiritual control system that the Sun Moon Empire's illustrious Virtue Hall had been unable to produce successfully despite multiple attempts. This spiritual control system's functionalities were contingent on the user's powerful spiritual ability and his or her ability to withstand spiritual pressure. These criteria made it almost impossible for any normal person to use this armor. If a normal cultivator were to attempt to connect his or her spiritual power to the system, the person would either immediately die from the shattering of his or her spiritual seed, or turn into a lunatic. The armor was designed with all these considerations in mind. However, Sun Zwen admitted that he was not sure if Huo Yuao was able to fully harness the potential of this Class 9 Soul tool. Nonetheless, it would at the very least be able to perform at the level of a top-tier Class 9 Soul tool. With this armor, he was confident of challenging any Class 9 Soul engineer in the Sun Moon Empire. The most mystical part about the armor was its main material. It was impossible to find another armor in a million years which was built from divine ice crystals with ice spirits. Huo Yuao had never worn it for two main reasons. First, he was confident in his own abilities. Second, he was not confident of being able to control the armor properly. He was worried that he might accidentally kill a soul beast if he were to put on the Icy War God's armor. If that were to happen, there would be no chance of repairing his relationship with the merfolk. Afterwards, both Tang Wutong and he were suddenly transported into the deep ocean. Hence, he never found an opportunity to put the armor on. But right now, under the control of the Snow Empress, he was about to put on this top-tier Class 9 Soul tool outside of Tang Sect for the first time. Let's go. The Snow Empress signaled Tang Wutong, following which, she activated the flying soul tool that came along with the armor, and they sped back in the direction they came from. The Icy War God's armor was a human-shaped soul tool. The biggest advantage of human-shaped soul tools was how they were a comprehensive fit for their users. The entire design of the armor was conceptualized with close combat in mind. This was necessary to harness the powerful effects of the divine ice crystal, as well as Huo Yuao's very own ultimate ice martial soul's power. Of course, close combat, in this case, did not mean a purely physical kind of combat. It merely meant combat within a short range. After flying for a couple of minutes, the sea beneath them started to become tumultuous. Waves crashed against one another with increasing intensity as the seawater reached higher and higher against the buffeting winds. The Snow Empress had long foreseen this, and hence, she brought Tang Wutong higher up into the sky. The powerful martial soul combination skill that merfolks had used to displace the sky and sea could only be used within a certain range. Beyond this range, the effects would be heavily reduced, or even be rendered ineffective. As the seawater beneath them continued to surge, the Snow Empress brought Tang Wutong to an altitude of 4,000 meters. This was an altitude that normal merfolk would never be able to reach. The threat from their martial soul combination technique was naturally invalid at this height. The Princess of the Sea emerged from the ocean with a furious look on her face. She rode on a wave, with her gigantic fishtail swinging at the back. Her daughter stood by her side as both of them surged into the skies with the support of the seawater and waves beneath them. With their current cultivations, they would naturally be unable to fly. Also, when they left the seawater, their powers would be reduced drastically. Hence, they had to use the seawater to support them into the skies. After all, the ice sea was a vast sea. When the Princess of the Sea put in more power to lift herself higher, more water vapor would be released into the air, resulting in increased humidity. As the air became increasingly viscous and humid, the absolute speed advantage that the Ice Empress and Tang Wutong possessed disappeared. They had no choice but to slow down. Tang Wutong realized how both Huo Yuao and herself had belittled the merfolk. They might not be able to fly, but they still possessed several methods to counter flying entities. At this instant, streaks of grey light suddenly shot up from the surface of the sea as they sped in the direction of the Snow Empress and Tang Wutong. Even though Huo Yuao and Tang Wutong had encountered these soul beats before, they did not know what they were. However, the Snow Empress knew they were called demonic blades. They were an extremely special kind of fish. Their bodies were incredibly sharp and tough. Even though they might not possess any elemental characteristics, they had incredible penetrative ability. After every attack, they had to retreat into the sea to accelerate before their next attack. Actually, they were not supposed to be able to attack at such a high altitude. They were only able to do after the Princess of the Sea had raised the sea level. The Snow Empress let out a cold snort as she tapped the air with her hand. The rich water element in the air was also beneficial for entities which specialized in ice-type abilities. Snowy dance of ultimate ice. Large snowflakes started to materialize out of thin air as strong winds started blowing in the sky. The demonic blades which had just risen into the air were immediately blown away by the snowy winds. They were unable to get close to the Snow Empress and Tang Wutong. The Princess of the Sea was obviously surprised by what she had just seen. Both the Snow Empress and her were the leaders of the extreme north. While she governed the sea, the Snow Empress governed the extreme north ice field. Hence, she had definitely seen the Snow Empress execute her three ultimate techniques. While the ice sea was definitely the home ground of the Princess of the Sea, the Snow Empress could also share home ground advantage because of its cold environment. Empress Jill. How is a human supposed to know the Snow Empress skill? Unless the Princess of the Sea could not believe that an entity as strong as the Snow Empress would actually become a human soul ring. The attack from the sea started to subside, and the Snow Empress and Tang Wutong also stayed where they were. After all, it was almost impossible for them to breach the encirclement formed from throngs of aquatic soul beasts, led by the Princess of the Sea at the ice sea. Princess of the Sea. The Snow Empress' clear voice reverberated in the air. She slowly descended from the sky as she kept her gaze on the Princess of the Sea, who was floating on a wave crest. This voice. You are? The Princess of the Sea was a little confused as she stared at Huo Yuao, who was wearing full body armor. A projection flickered as the Snow Empress drifted out from Huo Yuao's body before floating beside him. Following which, Huo Yuao's eyes turned jade green as the Ice Empress took control of his body. Snow Empress. After seeing the Snow Empress in her material form, the Princess of the Sea was shocked beyond belief. Yes, it's me. It's been so long since we've seen each other. How have you been? The Snow Empress nodded politely. In the extreme north, while the Ice Sea was under the jurisdiction of the Princess of the Sea, the strongest entity was still the Snow Empress. Hence, among the soul beasts of the extreme north, the Snow Empress was still the strongest. The Princess of the Sea frowned. Snow Empress, why are you here? Do you know what's with this human? Please don't tell me you came here with him. The Snow Empress nodded and said, that's right, I came here with him. We were planning to discuss some matters with you, but I did not expect the usually gentle princess to be so aggressive as to attack us directly. A strange expression flickered across the princess's face. Snow Empress, are you intending to help him put in a few good words? Do you know how much harm humans have done to us, aquatic soul beasts, in the past few years? The Snow Empress was stunned as she asked, how were the humans able to harm your people when all of you are in the middle of the Ice Sea? Forgive me, but I really haven't heard of this before. The Princess of the Sea gritted her teeth angrily as she replied, humans have been hurting us for the past few years. 2 years ago, a few humans entered the Ice Sea to look for me. They were extremely powerful, and we were hopelessly naive because of our limited interactions with them. We would not actively attack them as long as they didn't hurt our people. And when these people found me, they asked me to cooperate with them. I was very perplexed because I did not know of many matters in which it was possible for humans to collaborate with us aquatic soul beasts. Driven by my curiosity, I dug deeper. Those humans told me how they were trying to invent an entirely new cultivation method. This new method would enable humans to gain abilities which were similar to those of soul rings without killing any soul beasts. They told me how this could potentially resolve the conflict and animosity between soul beasts and humans. After hearing what the Princess of the Sea had said, Tang Wutong's eyes widened in disbelief. Even the Snow Empress was shocked by what she had just heard. Both of them looked into each other's eyes. None of them had thought that the issue would be so complicated. The Princess of the Sea continued. Humans Human soul masters are often required to hunt soul beasts in order to obtain soul rings, because we, aquatic soul beasts, rarely come into contact with humans. We are seldom the hunting targets of humans. Hence, we didn't possess much hatred or animosity with them. Thus, after hearing what they had to say, we became even more relaxed as we inquired about the details of their plan. They said they had come up with an ability called spirits. When dying soul beasts become spirits, their lives will be extended. In fact, the stronger the soul beast, the likelier it was for it to strengthen the human soul master and extend his or her life after it became a spirit. In return, the soul beast was also able to extend its life. As long as it continued to live, anything was possible in the future. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below with suggestions on what novels to read.